It begins with silence. No cars, no voices, just the whisper of water lapping against concrete. A lone street lamp flickers, half submerged, its reflection rippling across what was once a road. The skyline remains, but the ground has disappeared. A city, not lost in time, but in water. For those who lived here, life was measured in inches. How much the sea had crept in that year, how many blocks had vanished beneath the tides. It didn't happen overnight. First came the warnings, then the storms, and finally, the slow, relentless rise. Some fought to stay, building walls, raising homes. Others left, becoming climate refugees, in a world still unprepared to receive them. But this isn't a dystopian fantasy. It's a future that for some is already here. In Jakarta, entire neighborhoods sink as the sea claims the land faster than defenses can hold. In Miami, pumps work day and night, buying time against the inevitable. Across the world, shorelines redraw themselves, and with them, the fate of millions. Scientists warn that by the end of the century, entire nations may vanish beneath the waves. Yet the question remains, are we truly powerless against the rising tide? For centuries, humanity has waged war against water, pushing it back, bending rivers, reclaiming land. But now the ocean is pushing back, and the rules are changing. Will our technology be enough to hold it at bay? Or will we be forced to rethink the way we live? Redefine what home, city, and civilization even mean? Some say the answer lies in engineering. Towering seawalls, floating cities, artificial islands rising, where land once stood. Others believe adaptation is the only way forward, that rather than fight the water, we must learn to live with it. But before we decide, we must ask ourselves, is survival about resistance or transformation? The battle against rising seas is already underway. From the Netherlands to New Orleans, engineers have spent decades holding back the tide, designing barriers, levees, and pumps to keep cities dry. But as the ocean swells higher, the question is no longer just how to stop the water, but whether we can at all. Seawalls stretch for miles, towering over coastlines, defying nature with steel and concrete. They work for now, but what happens when the storms grow stronger? When the waves rise higher than even the tallest barriers? In some places, the answer is adaptation. Entire neighborhoods lifted on stilts, homes designed to float when the floods come. Yet, even these solutions have limits. When the land itself disappears, how do we build on nothing? Some turn to the open sea, envisioning floating cities tethered to the ocean floor. Self-sustaining islands where humans no longer fight the water but live upon it. The idea is not science fiction. In places like the Maldives, where land is vanishing inch by inch, such structures are already in development. A glimpse of a future where cities are no longer tied to the land. Then, there are those who look even deeper. If the surface is too unstable, why not go beneath it? Submerged habitats, once the realm of fantasy, are now being studied as a possible refuge. A way to escape the chaos above by building new worlds below. But could we really live under the sea? And if so, what kind of civilization would we become? The more we fight to hold back the ocean, the more it challenges us to rethink everything. Are we prepared to reshape our world in ways we never imagined? Or are we clinging to old ideas in a world that is already changing? For centuries, cities have been built with one assumption, that the land beneath them will always be there. Streets, skyscrapers, entire economies, designed for a world that stays dry. But what if that assumption is no longer true? What if the future isn't about keeping the water out, but learning to live with it? In some places, that future has already begun. In the Netherlands, entire neighborhoods are designed to float. Houses that rise and fall with the tides, tethered to the earth, but never drowning. In Bangladesh, where floods are a way of life, floating farms provide food security in waters that never recede. These aren't just survival strategies. They're a glimpse of a world where humans and water coexist, rather than collide. But adaptation isn't just about architecture. It's about mindset. What if instead of fighting for dry land, we built civilizations that embrace the sea? Imagine cities that drift across the ocean, powered by wind and sun, free from borders and rising tides. Some see this as the next step in human evolution, a way to escape a world we've made uninhabitable. Others fear it could create new divides, even deeper in the water. New frontiers are being explored. Underwater habitats, once the dream of science fiction, are becoming a real possibility. Living beneath the waves offers protection from storms, a stable temperature, and perhaps a new way to exist in harmony with the planet. But would life in the depths change what it means to be human? Would we still feel connected to the world above, or become something else entirely? For the first time in history, the ocean isn't just a boundary. It's an opportunity, a challenge to rethink what cities, homes, and even nations can be. But if we embrace this future, are we truly adapting? Or are we just finding new ways to escape the inevitable? The oceans are rising, but so is something else, an era of innovation. As the tides reshape our world, so too must our approach to survival. But will technology save us, or will it only deepen the divide? Already, the wealthiest nations are investing in billion-dollar defenses, massive seawalls, advanced drainage systems, entire artificial islands engineered to defy the encroaching waves. Singapore expands outward, reclaiming land from the sea, while Dubai builds floating luxury neighborhoods that rise with the tides. But in the developing world, where resources are scarce, the story is different. In places like Bangladesh and the Philippines, where millions live on the front lines of climate change, relocation is often the only option. For them, the ocean isn't an inconvenience, it's an eviction notice. Yet, technology doesn't just belong to the powerful. Across the globe, grassroots solutions are emerging: low-cost floating farms, amphibious homes, decentralized energy grids designed to withstand floods. The idea is simple: resilience should not be a privilege. But can these small-scale innovations scale fast enough to match the speed of the rising sea? Beyond survival, some dream of something bigger, a world where technology does more than react to climate change. It transforms the way we live. Smart materials that absorb carbon, artificial reefs that rebuild lost ecosystems, self-sustaining floating cities that exist in harmony with nature. But for every ambitious vision, a question lingers: are we designing a future for everyone, or just for those who can afford to escape? The technology to survive is within reach, but technology alone is not enough. The real challenge is not just adapting to a new world, but ensuring that no one is left behind in the process. So as the waters rise, we must ask ourselves, who gets to float and who is forced to sink? The water is coming, that much is certain. The question is not if, but when, and more importantly, how we choose to respond. For some, the answer lies in retreat, moving inland, abandoning the coasts, reshaping entire nations. To fit the new map the ocean is drawn. But history has shown that retreat is never simple. Where will millions, perhaps billions, of displaced people go? Who will welcome them? And what happens to the cultures, the histories, the identities tied to places that may soon be underwater? For others, the answer is resilience. Building higher, smarter, stronger. New materials, new systems, new ways of living that make the rising sea a challenge rather than a catastrophe. Floating architecture, submerged infrastructure, cities that breathe with the ocean, rather than fight against it. But is technology enough to overcome the forces of nature, or are we only buying time? And then, there are those who see an opportunity, a chance to redefine civilization itself. What if, instead of adapting to the world as it changes, we reimagine what it means to be human in an era where land is no longer a guarantee? Will we become nomads of the sea? Will we build nations that drift, unbound by borders? Or will we disappear beneath the waves, evolving into something entirely new? Perhaps the most difficult truth is this: there is no single answer. The future of life on this planet will not be defined by one solution, but by billions of choices. So as the tides continue to rise, one question remains: will we shape the future, or will we simply let it wash over us? This video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.